Hello and welcome to another episode of the Drop-In CEO podcast. I'm Deb Coviello, your host, and as always, I am grateful that you have joined me week after week. I have the amazing privilege of bringing to you great guests, and sometimes it's just me talking to you, and I show up week after week because I sincerely care about you. I really do. I care about you, the C-suite leader of today or tomorrow, to navigate challenges with confidence. And as always, I love to start these episodes talking just a little bit about myself. Honestly, I wish you were in front of me right now, just having a conversation, getting to know each other. But I'll go first, and maybe someday you will reach out to me and we will have a conversation. And for those of you that know me out there, sincerely appreciate the relationships and the networking that we've been able to do. So I'll just kind of start a little bit with what's going on in my life, and I will tell you, it is quiet. It is very quiet. It is summertime, and I live in Cincinnati, and it's been nice weather. We've had a few hot weeks, but we're kind of enjoying some springish weather right now, and it's absolutely delightful. But coming back to it's quiet, it means that it's a great time for me to catch up on sleep, do more planning, clean out a few cabinets or closets. You may have seen me do a few blog posts where I really tore my house apart. My husband's laughing at me, but we are now organized. And with this extra time during the summer, we just take a few weekend trips to go visit family and friends. We might stay at home, tinker. My husband Dan has been doing a lot of traveling lately, and some horror stories in some airports. And so when it comes to the weekend, we just like to stay put, regroup, maybe catch a bite out, spend some time with my daughter. And also just, it's a time to start thinking for myself, what do I want to do next? What do I want to do different? And I will tell you, I am starting to mentally get ready to start writing that second book, Secrets of the C-Suite. It has to get written. It's in me, and I'm starting to feel that I've been blessed with this quiet time to finally get this purposeful work done. So stay tuned for that. But let me move a little bit now to what I wanted to talk to you about. And it's something that's showing up for me in the universe, not only in my past, but people that I am seeing having some challenges. And again, I always turn challenges into opportunities. If you know me, I am very positive. Ask my kids. So a lot of people have been frustrated lately about things aren't going as fast as they would like. But one of the things I want to start with, again, this is the theme of the show, is that focus on outcomes of building relationships, building out your network versus the transaction. So you may go on a job interview and expect the transaction is a yes or no. Or you may have an initiative and the initiative doesn't go exactly as expected. Yes or no, it's binary. We focus on transactions and just getting results. If you know me, the greater opportunities to focus on outcomes. What's the big picture? Because sometimes you might get that job, but it may not be exactly what you want and you're disappointed. Or that initiative might have moved through your entire agenda, but people are frustrated, they're not getting back to you, and you're unable to really move the project as far as you'd like to. Those are transactions, but when we focus on better outcomes, good things happen. I know it's hard, but trust me, a few stories on my side. There's this company that I had a relationship with, and they actually were looking to hire me. And the process was taking so long. It was taking so long. I had interviewed with them, had an amazing, amazing interview. What should have been just 2 hours, and 4 leaders wound up being 4 hours. Knocked it out of the ballpark. Never got the job offer, but I said to them, I said, even if you're looking for the perfect person, think about me. Think about me. Maybe I could be interim leadership for you until you find the perfect person. Well, 5 months later, I get a call and said, Deb, can you put together a proposal for us to focus on these particular issues? I send the proposal out. I sit and wait again. 3 weeks later, Deb, how soon can you start? 6 months from beginning to end to recognize my value, to actually engage in a relationship. Now, I was a patient person. I thought I was going to write that opportunity off. But what I wanted to say with you is that sometimes we just need to focus on having just great conversations with people. And at the end of the day, high five yourself that you were able to relate to them, provide them value, tell them you enjoyed the conversation, make a soft commitment to stay in touch, but be proud of yourself that you impacted somebody's life in a few moments of your time, and maybe you will be memorable. Someone once told me, and I Googled it, I don't know where the source is, but someone once told me that your network is your net worth. And I truly, truly believe it if you're a patient person. And one more quick story, and I am so grateful to this person who's in my network, who I had the good fortune of meeting while I was in corporate about 8 years ago. And he was actually my advocate and champion, for which he recommended me for my last leadership position there, and I took it, and it was the best thing ever. And we've been staying in touch on and off, and then this happened. About 3 months ago, he connected me with somebody in his network, and we had a wonderful conversation for which they had a crisis happening, and we agreed that I would come into their organization and help support them during this crisis. Now, a relationship from 8 years ago manifested in an opportunity. So I ask you, do you have patience? Patience may be the theme of this conversation I'm having with you. But let me just, let's just not talk all about myself. Let me talk about real people I know. In fact, even today, and if you're listening right now, you really, really inspired this conversation I'm having today on my podcast. But this person told me that they've been seeking the perfect opportunity. They're not reducing their standards. They don't want to make the same mistakes in the past of going for a particular role to later be disappointed. So they have their guiding principles. And in the process, they are patient. They are interviewing. Some of them are taking as much as 6 months to finalize a decision. And I told them, I said, the greater outcome of this is the people that you're meeting, because you're making impressions on people that may not offer you a job now, but you become memorable. So if we shift your focus to the outcome of building a powerful network and really connecting with humans, and yes, ultimately maybe you do want a transaction, you want a job out of this, let that not be your main focus, but just say providing value, establishing trusting relationships, have conversations, shake hands at the end or high five or whatever, and just be grateful that you may have had a great encounter with another human being, and maybe again you'll be memorable. When you shift your focus a little bit, it takes a little bit of pressure off of you that I got to get this job, even though that may be true. But if not this opportunity, you may be sought out or remembered for something else, and that's the greater outcome. So I share this with you because you are amazing. I really care about you, each and every one of you that has come across my doorstep, and we've had a conversation. You have such value, and occasionally you lose your confidence. And what I'm here to try to do is give you some insight so that that confidence comes back, so that you are the amazing leader, the person that can make change, impact lives, to have a greater outcome, whether for yourself, your community, or for the places that you actually work. So I want to translate this into what can you do now? What is the insight that I have for you that, quite frankly, I use this on myself, and I'm starting to see it pay dividends, and I want to share it with you now. So my insight for you is, first, invest in yourself. Second, invest in your reach. And third, focus on your well-being. And I'll get to a fourth one, but let me go into a little detail here. When we invest in yourself, you pay respect to yourself, you commit to yourself to be even a better version of yourself. If you are in a place of transition, by investing yourself through reading, through just a little bit of reflection, writing, getting new skills, possibly exploring new opportunities, whether it's in your lane or outside your lane. Every one of these endeavors, your thoughts will be invigorated, you will have new ideas, you might think about things a little bit differently, and all the while, you're growing as a person. So I highly recommend investing in yourself. Number 2, Invest in your reach. Again, I am touching on this again. When I started out in my own business, I only had about 800 LinkedIn contacts and some good first degree contacts, but not enough to really make a difference. I'm now over 9,000 through a conscious effort. I don't know everybody, but people have reached out to connect with me, and we may or may not engage. But so many of you, I would say several hundred at this point, we have actually had real conversations, and some of them have been memorable. Some of them stay connected to me. Some of them have been on the podcast. Some of them have referred me to other people. We've even written articles together. We have created beautiful things through building out this network. And I trust someday one of these connections is going to remember me. One, I didn't seek to be memorable to just get something. Every single encounter, I try to provide some value, connect them with somebody, share my insight. If nothing else, support them, make them feel good about themselves. That's what I'm here to do, because again, we've got only so much time on this earth, and I want everybody to have the best of what they deserve and really want. And so, invest in your reach out to your first degree connections, just reestablish, even if it's been 8-10 years, just say, hey, I was thinking about you. Ask them who they can refer you to. They'll get you to some amazing, warm introductions or second degree people. Find your people. Find a networking group. But, yellow light, with caution, you got to find your people. I've been part of many networking groups. Great people that keep referring me and referring to me. I get on a few podcasts. I invite them on my podcast. But the thing is they really weren't deep connections, nor were they in a place where they could even maybe connect me with somebody that might even be more relevant than that connection. Go with caution, find your community, find your people, if nothing else, people that lift you up, but also people that might be good sources of referral, or they might remember you. And the last one, and should have put this first, but take this time when it's slow. In terms of an outcome, is invest in your well-being, because when you feel good, you show up with more confidence. And when you take the time to rebuild yourself, both intellectually, through learning new things, or as for yourself, you become a better person. And most importantly, you invest in yourself. You're the most important person that really matters. Even though we give to our friends, family, community, to our work, to our leaders, you're the most important, and you need to keep your body, your well-being, your mind going to be that energetic person to live a fulfilling life. And so the last point I want to make after saying invest in yourself, invest in your reach, and invest in your well-being. By doing this, you're focusing on a greater outcome of bettering yourself, improving your network for the future, and they all become wise investments. When you change our perspective and focus on outcomes versus activity and transaction, better things will happen, but you just have to be patient. And that's my message for you. And I hope that resonated with you. I firmly believe this. And again, I've had to go through a lot of therapy and help to believe this, because as a high achiever, everything is in my control. Don't tell me what to do. If I get a roadblock, I am going to find a way through it or around it in order to make the activities happen. But sometimes there's uncertainty, and it's very uncomfortable being uncertain. And this was a piece of advice I gave somebody, maybe you have to zigzag a little bit to get to what you want. Be willing to go right or left before going forward. Sometimes you may learn things when you go in a couple different directions before being able to move forward again. So I know for myself, I may not have been getting all the consulting work that I wanted, and I love the work that I get. It is amazing. But sometimes I had to do some contract work just to be able to continue to keep my business open while trying to find viable clients. But through those zigzags, I learned what I did and did not like to do. I still provided value to others, and more importantly, as an outcome, I established meaningful relationships. And again, those relationships keep coming back. And so you never know, by maybe going in a zigzag towards your goal, you're doing something, but you're always moving forward. You're working towards a greater outcome, investing in yourself, learning new things along the way. But that is my message for you, is think about focusing on outcomes and building relationships versus just the activity and the results. Good things will happen. So you're successful. You're amazing. Go out there and make things happen. But just know, if you can implement some of these things all by yourself, kudos to you. I am grateful. But let me know. Let me know if any of these things work for you. But I'm also here to be your compass, to be your guide, to be your number two, to be your sounding board. And I encourage you to reach out to me, complimentary 15-minute conversation. Reach out to me on my website, dropinceo.com. Go to my contact page. Let's just have a quick conversation. Or reach out to me on LinkedIn, direct message me, connect with me, and ask let's just have 15 minutes. I'd love a conversation with you. And if you loved this episode, and I hope you did, and you know one person that may benefit from this, please share the podcast with them. It's the greatest thing we can do by sharing these amazing resources and elevating other people. So with that, I am grateful that you've dropped in on another episode of the Drop-In CEO podcast. I'm Deb Coviello, your host, and I'm eternally grateful for our relationship, whether it is now on this podcast or if we connect in the future. But until we do meet again or meet for the first time, I just want to wish you well and much success. Take care. Bye.